Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Splintered Spirits.
Hello, hello, everyone.
All right.
As you funnel in and you're
As they
seeing
funnel in,
this,
it's just getting started. So if you're just tuning in with us today, let's see. Well, first of all, there's nobody here. Let's just wait till some bodies get in. There's a couple of people on IG. Welcome, IG.
what's up, guys?
Hopefully you can hear us okay. If you can't hear me or John, put it in the chat.
I can't hear you. Someone's gonna start trolling. I can't hear
I know.
you.
Yeah, I know. I guess that's true, right? People just start trolling you and doing it. Um,
Well, that's one of my favorite things when I'm live and somebody's internet's acting up, and they make the biggest deal that I'm lagging, right? And then everyone
right,
else is like, "I'm not lagging. I'm not lagging. I'm not lagging." But then you never know because then everybody could be lagging.
right.
So I
Well,
usually wait for
hopefully,
multiple people to say it before I'm like, all right, you got a problem.
right. Well, hopefully, there's always a little bit of a lag, with these lives. But guys, again, hopefully, oh, you know what? I'm not going to be able to see the YouTube chat. I
All
got to
right,
do
I'll
something
pull it up.
different.
I'll pull it up on my
Hold
phone.
on. I got to do something different to see it.
See here, YouTube, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, YouTube.
Here we go.
If I can find it.
There we go. Now I can see. I got to hold it up. So, all right. Welcome, everyone. Now I see
There
people
we
there.
go.
They're people. Heather was the first one in on YouTube. So, guys, we're doing things different today, and you might notice that
This looks
we're
great.
we're vertical.
This
We're
looks great, by
vertical.
the way. I'm looking at it right now on the YTs. On the YTs, it
Cool.
looks great.
Good. So, guys, we're vertical today, and why are we vertical? You might be asking yourself. Why, guys? Why'd you go vertical? Um, well, the truth is, it seems that for on the YT, that might actually help send this out to more people. Now, when we redrop the episode, you are going to see it like we normally do. Or if you're joining us on Facebook, it's should be in its regular position. But this is how we're going to do the lives in this format for hopefully a better fitting setup. And anyway, dude, we're starting. We're good. John, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Welcome to Splintered
Yeah.
Spirits, everybody. In the podcast where we ask that vital question: what are spirits? We have a guest today. She's in our lobby. We'll bring her in shortly, but I wanted to show you something real quick that you might get a kick out of. So, and I posted this earlier, but John, this is the antenna. Can you see this? This is the antenna that comes
With
with
the SB7, yep.
the SB7. Do you see this thing?
Yep.
Right. So I modded my SB7, right? Because this just wasn't picking up the dead, dude. Just wasn't
Huh?
doing it. So I modified it from this antenna to this one.
Oh, that's much better.
Right? It looks pretty good, right?
Yeah.
But then, John, I felt I don't know if it's good enough.
Yeah.
So then I got this one.
That's that's a big
It's
boy.
it's like, dude, if I can't get the dead with this,
Then
I mean, I should be able to hear God now, yeah?
yeah. He's definitely Sky
Right?
Daddy should be calling.
He should be calling me for the
Yeah.
ghost fire.
Yeah. Ghost
Anyway,
fire.
woohoo! Anyway, that's kind of the latest. That's the latest. I've been dicking around with that. Let me tell you about our guest today. You guys want to hear who it is? Anyone? Is anybody following us? You may already know because I posted about it.
I don't know, Gary, when you were stretching that antenna, because it's delayed on the YTs and I have it up here, it literally looked like you were about to, like a teacher with a ruler, Come here, ghosties.
Right. People are probably like, they got everybody turned on.
Yeah.
But listen, dude, bigger is better when you're dealing with ghost communication, I
Probing.
guess. I guess so. All
Telescopic.
right, so let me tell you about our guest today, Tammie Chavez. Tammie Chavez is an LA-based paranormal investigator, podcast host, costume designer, and content creator. Let me shut off that AC so it doesn't sound like a big noise here. She co-created a some content in a podcast called Hollywood Paranormal in 2017, alongside her co-host Bryce Mitchell Williams. It's a kind of a thing between ghost stories around their workplace and an acting school in Hollywood. That's kind of where it originated and where they saw stuff, and they combine it with like all LA lore and sort of true crime and things about that. And you know a lot about the LA stories from the Black Dahlia stuff and all these things. And then they found all these other things, and it really built a thing about it. She has another brand called Haunted Threads, and it blends her costume design profession with the paranormal. As her tagline puts it, every stitch has a ghost story, which I enjoy because that's what she does. She grew up in New Orleans, so she's got all that going on. She knows a lot. She's like a historian. She was a student at the Rhine Institute. She was a consultant on ghost adventures. Tammie's been around.
Cool.
And she's a friend with a lot of other people we have. So I'm going to bring her in, and I want to get into it with her about what she's experienced, certainly in LA and beyond. Guys, please give a big Splintered Spirits welcome to our friend and hopefully yours, Tammie Chavez.
Hi.
Tammie, welcome.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Thank you for being here. All right, I just want to check a couple things. We got a little bit of an echo on you, but that's all right. We'll figure that out. Tammie, thank you so much for joining us on Splintered Spirits today.
Thank you for having me.
I have so many questions for you. Let's see where I want to start. You've got a great background.
Shoot away.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
But let's give it a shot. So you grew up in New Orleans, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and you have a Honduran and Lebanese backstory.
Yeah, my mom is Honduran and my dad is from Lebanon.
All right, so these are a lot of cultures you grew up in. You grew up in a real melting pot of folklore.
Yes,
right?
Correct.
So how did those cultural traditions shape your understanding of the paranormal before you ever picked up a ghost hunting device?
Oh, immensely. I got to, I guess, have a moosh boosh of every single culture, and especially the culture in New Orleans. It really shaped me in a way of like understanding different religions and different beliefs and the different understanding of what a ghost or this phenomenon is. And of course, like with my mom being raised as a Catholic, it's always a demon. It's something evil, something we don't talk about. In New Orleans, it's probably the Rougarou, which is like, the swamp werewolf, or, it's...
Wait, what'd you say? What's that called?
It's called the Rougarou.
The Rougarou.
Yeah, it's a swamp werewolf, and it's one of our cryptids. So that is a lore that I grew up learning about when I was growing up in New Orleans. And with my dad, not really much, except that my dad in Lebanon grew up on a very, very old farmhouse that was passed down for many generations. I'm talking about like Byzantine times. Like it's been in the family for hundreds of years, and allegedly we have a house sitter, this caretaker who takes care of it, and has claimed that he has seen ghosts of warriors, like soldiers from the Byzantine War. And growing up as a child, my dad would find like pieces of armor, weapons, arrowheads, swords, even bones of horses. And he told me a story of how one night the caretaker woke up and he saw an apparition of a soldier dressed in a tunic, sandals, had a sword. And he said the guy said he thought it was a robber, but he could see right through him. He wasn't dressed of the time period. And when he saw him and the sword, he pissed in his pants and turned on the light, and the guy disappeared. But growing up, my dad said there were a lot of unusual things that they would see in the night around the house and also in the skies too. So it was very unique growing up in those parts, especially in the country in Lebanon.
So, but Tammie, was there a moment that you can point to specifically where, because when you're a kid, you kind of go off of what your parents are saying, you're going off with the people. And can you point to a time when you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't seem right, but I know there's something there? Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like just I guess when I was growing up in New Orleans and taking a field trip down St. Charles, and them talking about the different types of houses that had ghosts. And
How
I was
old were you?
like, what do you
Oh.
mean? Like the houses that had ghosts? Like this was like kind of like my awakening to the word ghost and
Oh.
hauntings.
How old
And
were you?
I was, I want to say like almost 8 or 9.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, and I want to say around 8 or 9 is when I started really hearing about these stories and how I was introduced to all sorts of lores in New Orleans, specifically these haunted houses off of St. Charles and this new word of ghosts and hauntings that I was hearing about. And hearing the teacher and the guide talk to us of like these apparitions and how they appear to us, the living was really, really scary. And of course, like I feared it growing up until I ended up working in the theaters there in college. Then I had a kind of a different shift in understanding what I was really dealing with.
So at what point did that fascination, was it college, like you just said? Was it, that's where it's like, I'm going to make this, and I really got to dig into this?
Yeah, college was like kind of like almost a rebirth because I saw my first apparition when I was working in a haunted theater in New Orleans. And I was working in costumes and I saw a full body apparition of a lighting designer that had passed away like years ago. And a lot of people claim that he still comes to work and he watches over the theater. And I remember seeing him in his theater blacks, black hair, black mustache, and everybody's like, "Yeah, that's Bob. That is our old lighting designer." And I was like, "What?" So ever since then, it's been like this little breadcrumbs, especially working in entertainment and working in a lot of these old haunted theaters and film sets that I started to experience and slowly, kind of like have this mind shift of what is the paranormal. And thus my journey really started to begin right there.
Now you were a Seminole, right? You went to Florida
Oh,
State?
yeah. I went to Florida State for grad school and I am
Yeah.
part of a wolf pack from my undergrad. Yeah. From
All
Loyola, New
right.
Orleans. Yeah.
All right. Listen, I love New Orleans. I mean, I used to go there every year. I was a Jazz Fest guy. I would go do my
Oh,
bachelor
yeah.
parties out there. I mean, I absolutely love that city and everything about it. And it's got character, and I know, and it just like you can feel it.
Yeah.
You can
Growing
feel
up, you
the
feel that.
vibe there is, that intensity, right?
Yeah.
All right. So now you're in college. You have this awakening. You start to get into it. You see this theater ghost, but then when did you pack your bags up and move out here to LA?
I moved in 2009 and started working with a lot of musicians, and I'm talking like rock bands. And I
Mhm.
started like styling and working in costumes and wigs for their shows. So like my first gig was oh my God, was Jane's Addiction, their 2009 Lollapalooza tour. So they needed wigs for
Sure.
their backup dancers. And I was certainly like, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely destined to do that. And of course, like we meet up at this old studios in Hollywood. I remember like Perry Farrell even bringing up like a story, like, I wonder if this place is haunted. And his bass player was like, yeah, I wonder, if there's a ghost somewhere. It feels like if it has this weird feeling, man. And they were talking about like the dark energies in and around Hollywood, which was really unique. And ever since then, like
Wasn't Duff playing with them in 2009?
was
it
who?
Duff McKagan for that tour
Was who?
from Guns N' Roses? Duff McKagan? Because when I saw them at I saw them at Lollapalooza, and then they opened, because they didn't bring
No.
the old guy back yet.
Ray
I
Navarro
thought.
was with them at that time, but he wasn't
Yeah.
present during the rehearsals at the studios that we were all like practicing at in Hollywood. I think he came in a little later.
Right.
But no one that I remembered like specific
Got it.
from any other bands. I was hoping to
No,
see
Duff
Ray.
played with them for years in between, but that's wild. I mean, that's interesting, right? So,
Mhm.
and of course, musicians and theaters
Oh yeah,
is a very strange spot
it is.
for how you experience this. Okay, so you're in there, you're doing this stuff with rock bands, and it's still happening with you, right? This experience, this getting, seeing these spirits, seeing these things. What was your first time going on a real like investigation out here?
A real investigation happened when I started my podcast of Holly Weird Paranormal, and the first location I went to was the David Oman house off of Cielo Drive.
Yeah, sure. Dude, Tammie, I just did an interview with David.
Yeah, he's an
I
old
just sat down.
acquaintance. He's an old acquaintance.
All right, let me tell you. I told John hasn't seen the footage yet. I'm still putting it together. It's like It's the Bizarro. It's like going to be like a Bizarro episode of Cribs.
I
Like we
believe
want to
that. Did you guys have the barbecue? Did he cook you barbecue?
No. I just listen. Tam, first of all, you got to understand. I'm not an
The
investigator.
inner thigh tastes the best.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude. Could you imagine? It's like, there's no way. So, I mean, I'm not an investigator. I'm out there trying to learn about this stuff legitimately, right? So I'm not saying that he took me to that dirt room under the house, and I'm like,
Oh
listen,
yeah.
I'm getting the fuck out of here. You know, it's like, you know, he says, yeah, there's a Native American buried under here. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm gone. It's like, I'll see you outside. Why don't we stay outside where there's people?
Well, listen,
public.
that's the first thing you do when you invite someone to your house. You got to show them the dirt room in the basement, Gary.
Exactly.
Well, John, you got to understand, right? So his house, the Omen house, and Cielo Drive it's all built on a hill.
Yeah.
So the houses out here are built into the hills. So those bottom floors are literally in the dirt.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're not finished, and you know, it's just anyway. So all right, so that's your first thing. Is that what a first way in, man? That's like a trial by fire.
I know that was ripping the Band-Aid right there in a David Omen house, and it was really interesting because I continued to investigate the house for the next 2 to 3 years. You know, we became good friends, and he always invited me over, and had a lot of weird experiences there.
So you did. And did you have an experience your first time there?
Yes, actually I did. I remember, I don't think it was connected to the house. I think the house actually like manifests even things that are attached to you. But we were in the earthen wall room with a woman. I was with this woman, very nice, was sitting down, and she was sitting in this room by herself as I entered. And I was like, hi, I'm just going to sit next to you. Really nice. And then all of a sudden I see this big ball of light like float from her into the earth, I guess, like that little ridge right there in that room. And I looked at her, I was like, did you just see that? And she's like, yeah, that's my mom. I'm like, what? She's like, my mom just passed away a month ago, and I know that she's always around, and she's been very active ever since I set foot in this place. And I remember David, of course, I'm sure you experienced this when you're alone, you're really not alone in his house, because he gets on the intercom and he's like, I saw that too. I saw that ball. He has his cameras on and everything, but he hopped on the intercom. He's like, I have the footage. I saw that ball of light too. So it was really unique and weird. And he even mentions like this house like manifests things that have attachment or are attached to you, which is really interesting.
I'll have to get that footage from him.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, and he was with me, so it was like an interview as we walked through the house, right?
Oh yeah.
And so he wasn't, but John, he's got cameras everywhere. He's got like 50
everywhere.
Cameras to capture stuff, which is, you know, it's a whole other thing.
Yes.
All right. So where do I go with? I mean, you cover so much, Tammie, which is right fascinating. And I got to tell you, I love the latest thing you're doing, the Haunted Threads. And I say latest because I just discovered it. How long has that been going on for? About a year?
It's been going on for a year. It's been on a hiatus because during the day, I am a costume designer and costume manager at a university here in California. So we had a busy season. And now I'm about to pick it back up very soon. So yeah, I just wanted to merge two of my passions, which was like ghost stories and investigating and storytelling, and intertwine that with costume construction. What would it look like if I were to build a costume for a famous ghost that was part of a ghost story that we've all heard? So first one was my first investigation at the Omen House, and that was my dress that I constructed for Sharon Tate. And I found a actress in the theater department who was like perfect. I had a wig made for her. We had her all fitted and everything. And you see it on the pictures in the video. Like, she really got into the character. She really looked like her in certain angles and everything. And with the dress and the hair, it was all perfect.
That's crazy. It's so
unique. Yes, it's so unique. I was just about to say that. So unique.
Right. Who else is? I've never heard anybody do anything like that. Right.
Yeah, really so unique.
Really use her skill set and tie it into her passion. Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's so unique. So awesome.
It makes so much sense. Now, have you discovered anything from in this space of Haunted Threads? Like, do you ever handle garments and experience that? I mean, I'm assuming you're dealing with a lot of like Hollywood warehouses.
Oh
and
yeah.
like that, and so walk me through that. What kind of vibes do you get in these places and to come up with that stuff? You know,
Oh,
and
there's
why and more
yeah.
importantly, why do you think there is an attachment to these articles of clothing or these things?
Well, a costume is the blueprint of a character, and a lot of times those costumes are so loved by the people that are wearing them. And a lot of those costumes were built to their measurements. It was built to their bodies, and even suits that were tailored. And I go into a lot of these warehouses, and you could feel a lot of that energy permeate from accessories and garments. You know, if you think about it, a lot of these performers, these actors on stage and film, they are really going into it. Like they're feeling all the emotion, the trauma, the love, the happiness of their character. And that's all being absorbed in the fiber of, a garment. And that stays within the garment until it's taken off. Like their blood, sweat, and tears are literally on there, as well as the whoever made it or tailored it. And I would say like, and I was even told by people that I've worked with on film sets and by one of the costume union girls, like, oh, if you go to the Sony studio, oh no, Warner Brothers, oh no, Paramount, their costume shop is crazy haunted. They have stories for days. I'm like, this is literally like content that I could literally just go in there and interview every single person. And I have a year's worth of content for my podcast of just experiences of people handling costume. And even like the most recent video I posted of the suit, like I bought this vintage suit from a vintage shop off of Magnolia Boulevard in Burbank or Horror Row. And the suit came with something because weird things started happening in the shop that never happened until I bought the suit. And when we had this actress come in to be fitted, I didn't know she was a medium. I didn't know she had abilities. And she literally called it out. She's like, you have a man here. I'm like, no, I don't. It's just us two. She's like, no, I'm hearing a man shuffling through your racks of costumes, and I'm seeing him in my mind. He's looking for a suit. I keep on hearing, where's my suit? And I'm just like mouth agape, all my pins and needles on the floor at this point. And I said, yeah, I bought a suit. And she's like, yeah, I keep on hearing Chester. And I'm like, you're not going to believe it. Inside the suit are his initials. It's like CMK. Chester.
Wow.
So I was like, no way. And I'm like, well, can you please tell him to stop making a mess out of my aisles? Because for the past week, every time I come in, there's suits on the floor. And I'm yelling at my work studies like, hey, what's going on? Why are you guys leaving a mess? And they're like, we didn't do anything. We wouldn't create more work. And we know better. So I'm like, well, who's leaving all this mess on the floor? So it was him. And she was like, you need to go in there in the, after closing, just you and him, have a little talk, have a little kiki, and just tell him politely to stop doing it and why you need the suit, and to tell him that you're going to take care of the suit, which I did. And it stopped. So ever since then, like I would always come in and greet him and say goodbye to him. And every now and then I would hear like someone, every now and then, not all the time, but I would hear someone kind of rummaging through the suit aisle. It was really interesting.
So here's something you said that's interesting. It's that, when you started the story here about people, it's their blood, sweat, and tears. It's this love for character, and they leave this on the garment, right? So, I mean, it's sort of our core question here. It's, Tammie, what do you think a spirit is then? If in that moment they're leaving it on their costumes or in their garments, what is it? What do you think a spirit is?
Oh my God, that is always the $1 million question. And I love asking this question too on my podcast. We're never going to have the full answer. I think a spirit or a ghost could be many things. I've even seen and heard debates of like, no, it's a ghost. No, it's a spirit. It's a spirit because it used to belong to a person, and a ghost is just, a demon or whatever. But I think, in my opinion, and this is just from my journey, it has evolved that it could be many things. It could be a memory, it could be a replay or residual. It could be, geomagnetism. It could be a discarded agent, something that belonged, a soul that belonged to a living person. And it could
What does
be
that mean? Wait. What does that mean?
a
Sorry.
discarded agent, like
Yeah.
just like
I
a
don't know. I literally
soul,
don't know what it means.
a soul, or a spiritual being, a spirit from a person that once lived, and it's just been
Oh,
discarded
I
from.
see.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you meant it was like something attached to someone, like someone's carrying around a second thing, like
Hmm.
they're attached.
But
Okay,
yeah,
I see what you're saying.
it could be
So it's
so
like I
many
see.
things. And I feel like we are never going to have that truth because whatever's out there really doesn't want us to know until we cross that threshold ourselves. And I think we can have all the evidence in the world, but I don't think we'll ever have that proof. And that is the biggest difference, is that proof and evidence. But
Well,
what
do you
is
believe, with all of your backgrounds, you believe in, you know, where do you lean? Are you in sort of a more religious side of things, like Catholicism, or
No, very
heaven and hell, God?
spiritual. No, very
Okay.
spiritual. I'm more of like, it could be anything. I look at the paranormal and everything like an octopus, and its tentacles just represent everything. Because if you think about it, like, what is a ghost? Well, it's a part of the paranormal community. There's ghosts that we have to label something that just makes sense because we can't describe what's happening with this phenomenon. Or is it a cryptid? Or is it a demon? Or is it a poltergeist? Or is it an alien? Or is it my favorite, parallel dimensions? I love that.
Ooh.
Like, hey,
John, you're a big parallel dimension guy.
I love that. And the stories I've
Mhm.
heard, of like people seeing their younger selves as their older selves, it's crazy. It's mind boggling. And
Have you ever experienced that
no, I
personally?
haven't. I wish I
Okay.
can because that would be very unique. And I've heard different types of stories like that have truly changed the trajectory of how I view a haunting and a ghost. I don't think we really are going to have that answer. A ghost could be many things.
All right.
Mhm.
I'll give it to you. I'll let it slide. Saying a roundabout answer, Tammie. I've heard you describe yourself. I'm probably. Is it a bruja?
A
Is that how you say
bruja.
that?
Bruja.
I'm not. Don't make me roll my R. It'll be just listen,
That's one of my
Tammy.
tism
If you make me
triggers.
roll my R's, it's embarrassing for
Oh
everyone.
no, my entire
Don't make me
life
do it.
tonight. My entire life tonight. All I'm gonna say is Bruja now. That's one of my.
Oh
That's
my
one of my
God.
tism triggers.
I definitely
It's
consider
unlocked.
myself
It's unlocked.
doing a
It,
little brujeria. Yes, I'm
yes.
definitely.
A little
See, I can't say
Bruja.
it. I'm never gonna say that. I'm not. I mean, I'm just gonna be. It's like I'm not gonna say croissant either. It's just not gonna happen.
Croissant.
Oh, I dropped my
Croissant.
croissant.
All right, but you use like black salt and black tourmaline. Like, so, okay. How do you so if is that true then, I guess, if you consider yourself this, and how do you reconcile sort of a spiritual protection side of your practice with this more scientific and evidence-based approach you do when you investigate?
How do I use it? I mean,
Yeah, like how do you
I used
cover
to
both
go in.
sides of this
I used to
self?
go in raw, as I was told by.
What does that mean?
That's the way to do it.
I go in hard and raw.
That's the
Keep
way
it
to
clean,
do it.
girl.
That's my name in prison.
That's Here at Splintered Spirits, we back up going in hard and
It's a new
raw.
motto.
Raw and hard,
Like
like I
you
like my
would.
stones.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah.
Raw and
Wait.
hard.
I used to just not. I was always in the scientific belief. Look, I'm just there to collect evidence and to collect data and just to be grounded. Like, I just need to be, not single-minded, but open-minded, be very grounded. And I don't know, like I've had a lot of discussions with people who are very spiritual, who are in my group, that are like, Tammie, you need to like cleanse, because I just feel like you carry and harbor so many things from these places. And I feel like I kind of don't, but just to make themselves feel better. And
I
to
was about
also
to say,
protect.
don't let don't let people turn
Yeah.
around and tell you that you're gathering this and that from places. If you feel fine, you're good.
I feel fine, but
Yeah.
for the sake of them, like, they're like, can you at least please carry this rock, or carry this, Florida water or cascaria? Like, I'm like, okay, I'll do
Florida
it.
water.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm on it. Like, I've been told by, who is it? John Neil Tenney is one of my favorite weirdos and investigators, but he brought up a really good point in a lecture. He was like, you just have to be grounded. If you walk in thinking that something's going to follow you home, then something will most likely freaking follow you home. And
Hmm.
he's like, you just have to understand, we really don't know what we're truly dealing with. You know, it could be so many things. It could be carbon monoxide. It could be, ta-da, parallel universe. And yeah, and I had a case like that where a girl was, she was almost poisoned. She thought she had spirits in her apartment, and lo and behold, there were no batteries in her carbon monoxide detector. And when we put the batteries in, it went off.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Wow. And so
so
do
yeah,
you compartmentalize then in that sense?
yeah. In
At
that
first, like,
sense,
is there stages of it for you? I'm
well,
curious,
no, for me, like, I feel like it depends on the case. Like, I could compartmentalize it, or it could be stages. Like with the David Oven house. Like, let's take that for a real, that was a huge learning curve for me, because I walked in with a lot of biases from based on a lot of the shows that I watched. Like, oh my God, I'm going to see a bloody Sharon Tate. I'm going to see, the victims of the Sharon Tate murder. And then within time, I was like, I feel like my hypothesis on this place is that it's just a revolving door of energy, because it's in the middle of Benedict Canyon and there's so many weird things inside and outside that I really don't think we're really dealing with what we really are dealing with. And that was like a year and a half into it. So those are things, yeah, that I mean, I took it in stages, while other things like, I really did compartmentalize that.
I tell you, when I was there, the only thing I didn't experience anything other than there was one section of the house where I got chills every single time I walked through it.
Yeah. Was it the second
No
or
matter,
third
and
floor?
it's down. I don't, because it goes fucking down. What is it? It must
Yeah.
have been the second floor,
Yeah.
or was it the third floor? No, it must have been the third floor where his all his sports memorabilia is.
So that's well, he
Is
has
that the
like
second?
the second one, he has the stuff from what is it? The boxer Jack Johnson.
Yeah, down
Yeah,
there.
and
It's
the
in there.
top hat.
But it was
Yeah.
so it's in that one room. But every time, no matter how fast I walked through it or slow, I
Mm-hmm.
got chills. I had to stop, and it was
Yes.
weird. That was the weirdest thing that happened. I have it
Yeah.
on camera too. It's like the goosebumps were so big it showed up on camera. It was crazy.
I believe it. That's happened to
it's
me
wild.
too on the third floor. Just out of nowhere, just like this wave of cold air just passes through you. You're like, what the hell was that? You know?
Tammie, do you consider yourself like a psychic or have psychic abilities?
Oh God. Tawny's probably gonna get on me about this. I've never considered myself to be psychic medium or to be a medium, but I was told by one of the top psychic and mediums in Lilydale that I have very strong abilities. And I have had experiences with those abilities in locations. I would see it. I would see it in my mind. I would hear it and I would taste it. And even Tawny has confirmed this many times with me. She's like, you just have to hone in and trust it. And a lot of the times where I would go into these locations and I would talk to the owners or, the caretakers, I'm like, hey, is there a man here? Is there a child here? And they're like, yes. Oh my God, you're not going to believe this. But a while ago, they found a little girl here locked in one of the closets. I'm like, okay, well, I'm coming up with like a lot of images and words. And I mean, I'm fine if you can, do not recognize anything that is coming out of my mouth. That is fine. But I'm just calling it like I see it, like how I smell it or taste it. It's just I'm calling it out right here. So, and a lot of times, like it is confirmed.
Do you feel that has strengthened over the years?
Yes,
for you.
Definitely. Now I've learned to trust it and to accept it.
What's the big thing? So what's the big Claire that you carry?
I want to say that I am definitely Claire. What is it? Gustance, where you can taste it or smell it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That seems like the worst Claire to have.
It is. It's really interesting.
It's like terrible.
Is it the smell?
I am staying out of this one. I have so many jokes.
Can
of all the
Clark,
Claires,
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, right. A ghost. I mean, of all the Claires,
terrible Claire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What have you tasted? Like, tell me, like, what have you?
Cigarettes.
What?
Yeah, I've tasted cigarettes. I was researching a case. I was talking to the owner of this tattoo parlor in Santa Clarita, Artifact, and he was telling me about this case of this man that was murdered there in the early 2000s. And I'm like, was he a heavy smoker? Because I'm getting the taste of Marlboro Reds, because I used to smoke in college and I used to bum cigarettes. I didn't care what it was. If it was a nicotine wrapped up in paper, I'm going to smoke it. If it was like a patch, I'm going to roll it up and smoke it regardless. Like I was,
Sure.
always stressed and on edge. And he was like, I'm not sure. And by the second investigation, we had close friends of that victim show up and leave cigarettes. And I'm like, oh, so he really did smoke. Yeah, he smoked like a chimney. I'm like, did he smoke Marlboro Reds? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, and I looked at the owner. I'm like, I told you when you sent me all this information, when you're telling me this, I tasted cigarettes. I don't know why. And those are things that, come to me like out of
And
nowhere.
that's how you get your fix too.
Mhm.
That's how you get your fix. You hang
Nothing
around with
tastes
the
like a
dad.
red either. You
I
know it.
know.
Nothing,
That is a
nothing.
unique taste.
Oh, I know.
That or cloves. That or
Oh
digital
yeah, oh
cigarettes.
yeah.
Oh
Cloves
my
are
god. Those are sweet, yeah.
okay.
Tammie, you studied a little at the Rhine Institute, or how did that work?
Oh, I
I know a
loved
lot about the Rhine
it.
Institute. So what was that?
Oh,
Were you in? Was it online? Did you go to North Carolina?
yeah,
Where
this
did you
was
do?
during the pandemic. And I ended up taking that class with Lloyd Auerbach, who's one of the head
Sure.
instructors. And
Yep.
yeah,
I
it's
know
in.
Lloyd was our first guest.
Oh, I love him so
I've known Lloyd
much.
for years.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
him. And he's another one that was really a big part of my journey and helped me with my vision and everything. And yeah, I took the intro to paranormal investigating, like ghost hunting, how to separate fact from fiction. And it was such a great experience learning from him and learning to read these articles that, the Rhine Institute has in their database, all these documented, labs and investigations that they've done, and how to
Yeah, it's wild.
properly document and record these phenomenons is very unique. And I wish a lot of people would really get on board with that.
Let me ask you this, because you've been a part of a lot of different things, right? Which is really, this is actually a great question for you. Studying with Lloyd, right?
Mhm.
And there's guys like Lloyd, and I've interviewed guys like Steve Parsons, these old school investigators, and I know Barry Taft very well, and all of these really classic 50, 60 to 80-year-old even parapsychologists who used to go out and really value the human experience. Then it rolled into the TV generation, right?
Mhm.
Which changed the game with gear, and they're rolling in with vans and Pelican cases and EMF meters and Mel meters and all these things. And now here we are today, and it's the social media game, right? Where we've got, it's just a different vibe, right? And you've got a couple of seconds to get someone interested in this genre, and they have to find a unique way to tell a story. And you're been a part of all of it.
Oh yeah.
What do you think? Are you taking a piece from each? Are you shaming? Not shaming is a bad word, but are there things that you really are against? How do you combine these sort of three educations that you are in to stay true to investigation?
I was always told to never quit my day job, first and foremost, which was a big piece of advice. Thank you, Lloyd. It's true. And it's because,
Right.
like, do you want to be famous or you want to be taken seriously? And I want to be taken seriously too, but still entertain in a way where it's still respectful. I feel like I've always pivoted in a way where it was ethical. And sometimes I will admit it probably wasn't. And I called myself out on it, and I'll still call myself out on it. And I think that's the thing. Like, now that we're seeing this evolution of social media and AI, which is even more scary. AI was definitely something I was warned about 2 years ago at a convention by one of the producers and creators of, oh my God, it was one of the big shows, Destination Unknown. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was like, I promise you guys right now, AI is going to change not only television and film, but also paranormal investigating and ghost hunting. And he was looking back at that now, 2 years ago, he was correct. And I think it's that question of like, is AI a big ethical tool in our investigating, or is it hurting our investigations? I think, a big part of that from what I've learned in the very beginning is it doesn't hurt to experiment and to create your own hypothesis of what works well for you and what works well for your, I guess whatever evidence you collect for your own data and your own sake. But I've always been told to always keep it simple and keep it old school, and that's what I try to do.
Okay. All right. I like that. Um, so All right, let's see. Where am I on my list of wonderful Tammie questions? Okay, so through Hollyweird, you've really gone and investigated a lot of places here, and you link true crime to paranormal in a really unique way, and finding um, those spots that are maybe less known to most people. Right? We've all heard the big stories. Uh, What spot surprised you the most? And that doesn't necessarily mean like scared you the most or freaked you out. What was there any spot that was like, oh man, everyone's talking about this, and this shit is dead. Like, there's nothing here. Like, it was what has turned you, or what surprised you the most when you went to a spot, or you expected it to be scary and it wasn't, or vice versa?
Oh my God, there were several spots that I was like, wow, I could really take a nap. Unfortunately, it was the Sally House in Atchison, Kansas. It was the Sally House, and I went in like kind of late in the afternoon because you can rent it out. You just pay the $10 and they give you the code through the city, and you could walk in and have at it in the place. And I was there for a couple hours and nothing. I almost fell asleep in the doll room. I was having a little tea time and a kiki with the haunted dolls and nothing. There was nothing, I was like, okay, like I had the mic going on in certain rooms, went back and listened, nothing. And then I on my messages, because I was like, guys, I almost fell asleep in the Sally House. This is considered one of the most haunted houses. What the hell? And one of my listeners is like, hey, but go down the street to 1889 McIntyre Villa, and you're gonna have a different vibe over there. So I did, and I met Stephanie O'Reilly, who's the owner. And it's an older house, same time period of when Atchison was like up and thriving in the 1800s. And it was a very, very creepy house, and very much off the beaten path, because the Sally House was getting all this like notoriety and popularity online. And I was like, no, everybody's been sleeping on this house, but that house that she has is so creepy. There were 9 confirmed deaths. There were full body apparitions that she showed me on her phone, like full body, creepy looking apparitions. And there was a point, this has never happened in an investigation, right? In one of the most haunted places, we were going into the basement, and she was telling me that this may have been an abortion clinic at one point. And as she's talking, the footage, my camera stopped and my recorder stopped all at the same time. And I was like, no, the batteries are fresh. They're fully charged. This worked like a dream and a breeze at the Sally House. But when we left the basement, everything picked back up. And it was just the oddest thing. It's like every time she would talk about what happened in the basement, things would just malfunction. It was so odd. It's like whatever.
It's funny, man, how electrical. It's funny how electrical stuff cancels out. I had that happen to me once at Hollywood Forever. I was telling John, I was so pissed, and he's like, "Get used to it."
Yeah.
It's like, this is what happens.
Get used to it.
I'm like, no one's gonna believe me. No one's gonna. I had this, and no one's gonna believe that what I caught.
Yeah, it's a Tú Sabes moment. Like you bring your.
You'd be surprised how
equipment.
many. You'd be surprised how many people would believe, with just the amount of stuff that goes wrong while you're trying to do anything when it comes to the paranormal.
Yes.
Where does LA stack up in terms of haunted? Do we win or what?
Oh my God, you guys
we're New Yorkers
win.
originally.
Yeah,
LA
you guys
wins,
absolutely
right?
win. Yeah, I mean, there's LA, New Orleans, Savannah, and then even like Illinois. Chicago's freaking haunted too. The Midwest
Chicago.
is weird. Yeah.
You always forget there's Chicago. You say Illinois, you're like, what? And then you're like, all right,
Chicago. Yeah, I love
Chicago. They got some good shit there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what's your favorite city then? Is it LA or New Orleans? That's tough.
There's a good one. I love New Orleans. I really do.
Yeah.
I love
for sure.
Really, yeah, because it's unique. It's got
there's more character to it.
More characters.
New Orleans has
and it's a lot older. Yeah.
It's got a good. Cities like New Orleans, San Francisco, like they have a look and a whole, like the energy changes just because of the architecture in the scene.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You were a consultant on Ghost Adventures.
Yeah, and
correct? Tell us about that experience.
So in 2022 or 21, I I was told by my listeners, and it was like a bunch of them messaging me via Facebook and Instagram, hey, I think Ghost Adventures is copying off of you. It's funny how you would release all these episodes of all these places that no one has ever heard about. And then it's funny that all of a sudden Ghost Adventures made an episode like a month later. And I was like, maybe it's coincidence. They're like, I don't know, Tammie. It's very spot on, because I stopped watching after the 7th season, and I would catch an episode here and there. And then they're like, Tammie, promise me you watched the most recent one. And I'm like, okay, watched it. And I was like, legit, it was. We made an episode about this. It was there in order. I'm like, no, not Ghost Adventures. Like, we're just a little indie podcast. A week later, the producer, Justin, messaged me and he was like, hey, I'm from Ghost Adventures and we need to talk. And I'm like, yeah, we have a lot to talk about. Can you explain this? It was like, what's going on? They're like, no, we've been watching you. We've been hearing you. And we want you to help us. We want to consult. And I'm like, well, I want credit. Let's do it. And I want to be on the show. Let's do it. So they got me on. Yeah, they got me on the show, and they realized like I'm not okay. There's weird, right? There's like good weird, and then there's weird, like weird.
Right.
They're like, you're not one of those people. They've dealt with those people, and what they wanted was someone who had bona fide accounts they could trust, someone that could bring trustworthy people to interview who had a unique but honest experience at these haunted locations, good stories. And I'm like, yeah, you want to talk to so-and-so, I'm going to throw you their number. I'm going to send you this person. They're really great. They're normal. So they're, they are familiar with the show, but they're not like a crazy fan. And it's been a working relationship for the past 2-3 years with them. I've actually been on one episode, but recorded 3 or 4 with them. And recently, I think 2 months ago, I finally got to investigate with them in Hollywood at the Waddles Mansion. So they were in a bind. They're like, Tammie, we need interviews. We need people. I'm like, did you ever had an experience there? And I'm like, yeah, I had a very weird experience walking my dog there, my first dog, on the property, because it is a public park during the day. And I kept on seeing a woman, like, I don't know, I felt a very strong female presence. And I kept on looking at the mansion, and I could have sworn I saw a woman in one of the windows. And they're like, great, you're going to come in and record with Zach. I'm like, what? So they sent me all the information. I went on set. I met with Zach. I interviewed with him. And when you interview with Zach, that means that he's most likely going to send you in the basement with Aaron or Billy. So I ended up going in the basement with Billy. And not only did I conduct a paranormal investigation with Ghost Adventures in a basement, I did part of it in Spanish. So it was very unique. You guys are going to have to watch the episode, but I was very happy for that moment, because you don't often see little brown girls investigating with people that look like Ghost Adventures.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
And that's first of all, that's absolutely amazing. And and look, you sort of segued into what I was about to ask you too, which is about diversity in this genre. John and I have tried to make it a real point to find disruptors and people who do that, from drag queens to African Americans. We want, we don't see a lot. We've had Tawny on. I know she's friends with you, Marie Jackson on. I reach out to some people just haven't agreed to come on yet, but I really want to find different faces and different voices, not only for my own education in the space, because I don't know how you can put a picture together of what is a spirit without talking to people of all different backgrounds, but also just because I'm sick of the same guys in the black t-shirts and, like old white guys doing it with their flat brimmed hats and their barbed wire tattoos. It's like, you and I can't be friends. No. I've had enough of it. So how have you found this? I mean, one, it sounds like pretty great that they called you to do that and to break that sort of ceiling for it. But before that, did you find was it really difficult to be taken seriously in the space because of your background, because you're a woman and Hispanic and all these things like in the paranormal?
I think it's always going to be difficult. I always felt that before, and even still after, I still feel that, because at the end of the day, it's always going to be the predominantly cis white male in the black shirt and the shark tooth necklace, screaming in the basement. It's going to be that YouTuber that people want to follow and like, and it's always a man. And that's just how it is. It's just very male, heavily male dominated. And there's always that joke of like, well, what about women? Women are also a great part of the paranormal. They're always mediums. And no, we're more than that. We could be
That's
researchers and historians and also investigators too. And it's like, we can't be put in the box of just, for psychic and mediumship abilities. No, I want to be put in a spot where I could be a storyteller, a researcher, and actually be in a basement with Billy Tully, hosting or helping, coordinate an investigation partially in Spanish and in English. So it's, that's something, if I could try to make it a little nudge in that barrier, I'm going to do that.
Why'd you do it in Spanish for that one, for that case?
So it was really interesting because Billy had he has this unique spirit box that a lot of things were coming very clear and kind of negative there. And we started getting responses in Spanish. And then I was automatically responding in Spanish back. So I could understand because I was telling Billy, oh, that's Spanish, and let me respond in Spanish. So it was like, okay, my time to shine. So, I don't está sanitario. Okay. It's not here. Well, no, it was perfect. It was perfect timing.
Tammie, you seem to, you're so, the fact I'm most impressed with how quickly you can drop names and remember the history of these locations, which is a skill in and of itself. I can barely remember what happened to me last Tuesday, but it's, do you study and factor in or consider the religions of the area and from all the different cultures you have, right? Where does like voodoo and Santeria and these things play? And I'm don't make me roll my R on Santeria.
Oh,
but
come
like,
on, Santeria.
I'm not doing it. Is there a belief system in that or a misconception in these things?
Yes.
When you're in a part of the country that might have practiced that, and does that change what you're picking up and how the investigation goes?
Absolutely. Growing up Catholic, that's all I had. That was only my belief system, but I was a little more different. I always felt well, and also educated. Like when I went to university, I took classes on different religions, different,
Okay.
spiritualisms. And I have a really good girlfriend who I would love to put you in connection to. Her name is Tanya Mercado. Shout out to her. She is a practicing santera, and she's one of my really good friends. And she's legit, a practicing santera. Her mom are really up there. They go to Cuba, they do the ceremonies, they do the misas. And the biggest misconception is that what people see in Hollywood is the same misconception with voodoo. And what a lot of people don't understand is that they're all rooted in Catholicism. They're all parallel with that. And with Santeria, for example, they pray to saints, they pray to their ancestors, and they pray to their spirit guides. And that's the same thing with voodoo. We always, I remember in New Orleans dressing up in white and going seeing, the St. John's Day, seeing, the voodoo practitioners, dance and perform their rituals for St. John's and paying homage, to St. Joseph, St. Joseph's Day, to paying homage to the St. Joseph and stuff, and, bringing bread and money to the statue. So those are things that I always find to be a big misconception. But within those religions, there's also a misconception of what we're actually dealing with. Like Christianity and Catholicism, a ghost is a demon. It's automatically a demon. What you're doing is evil. Where in Santeria, they don't believe in demons. They don't believe in evil. There's dark and there's light, and that's it, which is very interesting. It's very unique.
If you had to pick a religion, what would be the one that you would go with?
Oh my goodness. Non-denominational.
What's the most fun?
Honestly, I really enjoy Santeria.
Scientology.
Oh my gosh, no.
I think we'd all be
It's a
super
cult.
successful.
That is a
I'm just throwing it out there.
Oh my God.
I feel like we'd be real successful if we went down that road. I'm just throwing it out.
I used to work in Bloomingdale's in Beverly Hills. No, the Beverly Center, and we would always get them returning clothes for the celebrities that attended there, and we were like, I bet you anything. Like, I think it was Katie Holmes that wore this dress. I think because I mean, a lot of the garments that they would return were like, I mean, they were thousands of dollars. But yeah, they kind of acted like I felt like they were acting like their assistants in some ways. But this was at a time where, Tom Cruise and Katie
Sure.
Holmes were, really involved in it, and a lot of other celebrities, and they were doing a lot of shopping for them, which was odd. So yeah.
Listen, there's a lot of weird shit about it. I get it, but there's also a lot of stuff that's like, I don't know, man. It's just sort of. We look. Here's the thing. We were raised Catholic as well, so it's like, I'm just as likely to believe that there's aliens as there are people raised from the dead. I mean, what's the difference? It's just how they go about it. It's a little secretive and weird, but I guess. But I don't know. I don't knock anybody for choosing what they choose.
Yeah.
Certainly if it can help you pay the rent, get you that starring role in the next time.
I always tell people, I always tell people in my investigations, look, do whatever suits you and your belief in your religion. If you feel like you need to say a Hail Mary or an Our Father after the investigation, then do it, whatever makes you feel safe.
Tammie, what's next for you?
What's next
the
for
next
me?
Big project. You have so many things. It's pretty, I mean, you really do have so many
I
things.
do. I'm really busy this summer and I'm a little scared.
What's the priority, first of all? What is that priority for you, like that you're focusing on? What's paying the mortgage? And then is it costume design? Is that the job?
Yeah, that's the job. It's costume design. But
which I love. I think it's wildly creative.
But outside of it, I am also going to be working with my community here in San Fernando. I have a meeting next week with a very old home, one of the oldest homes here, where it looks like I'm going to be leading some haunted historical tours. And it looks like it's definitely in the works. And then in June, I'll be traveling back to Old Town Spring in Texas to lead another event in one of the most haunted towns in Northwest Texas. So yeah.
So you get called. So is this something? How does that happen for you? Or do they just know you by now? You've just been around. They're like, this is the person we need to walk us through this stuff.
Well,
I find it, right? And
yeah.
And how do you discern what you want to do and which ones you want to take on? Is it that I've never been there before, or what attracts you to a certain location for you to want to investigate it?
It's familiarity and this energetic pull, I guess you can say. I don't know. I can't explain it, but since I'm originally from New Orleans, I did grow up in Texas. Like, I'm New Orleans born and raised, but Texas seasoned. And I lived in Houston. Mesquite girl. A mesquite spice. But there was a point in time where I went to high school in Houston, and there was a town called Old Town Spring where it was haunted. That was the lore. And I have my parents that are still living there, and I would always go and visit them. And this one visit last summer, something told me, get in the car and just go visit. I don't know why. I just needed to get out of the house, and I needed to go to this town. And somehow the first place I parked my car in front of is a botanica. It's a botanica, and I go in there, and they led me to this boutique called The Dark Side of Spring, and it's a paranormal boutique, and it's a couple that they host a lot of paranormal events. And I got to talking with them. I did a video for them to help promote their small businesses because I love doing that, and it blew up. It blew up all over social media, and they were able to get a lot of business, and that business cost them to get them another golf cart to do golf cart tours. And then we did, a huge event with Adam Berry, and then it just progressed to now let's do an event in the summer. Let's see what we can do. So
good for you. I love it. Where can people find you?
People can
Where
find me.
Where should they go?
Oh yeah, they should go in Instagram and Facebook, Holly Weird Paranormal, and I'm also on TikTok under Haunted LA Girl.
Haunted LA Girl.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not forget my personal favorite is Haunted Threads.
Yes, and Haunted Thread. You can find me on Instagram on Haunted Thread and YouTube as well.
That truly is my favorite. I find that one to be that to me is really groundbreaking, and I hope you stick with it. I hope you do more of it.
I will. I still have to continue with the Woman in Black lore. So the dress is built. We just have to find the actress to tell more of the story. So it's going to be a really good one.
Such a cool idea.
And the next one will be
such a cool idea.
I think the next one will be paying homage to Marie Laveau. So that'll be another one.
See, this shit's great.
Yeah.
I love that. It's I tell you, Tammie, it's really just a great angle. And
Thank you.
The fact that you can, it's in your blood. I mean, you know how to do it. You know how to make it. You know how to present it. You know the world. No one's doing. I've never seen it. I'm old.
Yeah, I've
never seen
learned
it.
in
It's
entertainment,
so
you
good.
have to be a Swiss Army knife. And in this niche of the paranormal, you got to be that way too. And, it's more than just picking up a camera and going into a haunted home. There's so much you can do. And I see that like
I
with what
love
you
it.
guys do. I see that with John and Santa Paranormal. Like it goes and he cleans graves and he keeps the voice box going and he's conversing like
It's crazy.
he's having his own kiki with the ghosts.
He's a witch.
So,
He's a witch, dude. He's a
mhm.
total witch, by the way.
Yeah.
But it's
Got that witchy sauce, you know.
he does have that
Yeah.
witchy sauce. Tammie, thank you so much for joining us today on our live.
Yes, thank you.
We guys, for everybody who's watching, we re-drop this tomorrow. It'll be available everywhere podcasts are available. We get a few people to check in on these lives because we're bi-coastal and the timing is strange, but tomorrow we'll get a lot more eyes on it. I think people are going to really be excited. If there is anybody who doesn't know you, and you got a giant following on TikTok, you're like almost got 1 million followers on there yourself.
Yeah, that
you're
took a while.
You're no slouch. And you're so good at this. You really are.
Thank you.
I really love it. And like I said, Holly Weird Paranormal, Haunted Threads, Haunted LA Girl, and we're gonna put chyrons up for all this stuff.
Aw, thanks.
There will be a link to Tammie in the link tree in my bio after this airs too. You can find her. Tammie, thank you so much.
Thank you,
you.
guys.
Thank you
Take
so
care.
much.
Enjoy the rest of your day. We will talk soon.
You too.
I'll see you. Just leave this on until it says upload complete, okay?
Okay.
So even when we say goodbye, just leave your browser open and you'll be
All right.
good to go. I'll see you.
Bye.
Wow, man, she was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that whole threads thing is a great idea. I mean, there's so much can be done with that just from one, article.
I know. I
You
tell
think
you.
about it.
All right, now, John, let's take a minute for the whiners in the threads who didn't get our attention. I don't know if you saw those guys.
I've been talking to everybody in the chat the
okay,
entire time.
good.
Oh, I've been.
Somebody was like, "Why are they talking? Why are you talking?"
And that's the thing. I'm literally knee deep in this chat. From start to finish, have been here in the YouTube chat, chatting with everybody during the whole interview. Hi everybody. Hi.
But listen, and John, honestly, like, how cool is that? The Haunted Threads thing?
Yeah, it's cool.
Have you ever seen anyone really? No. She's got a skill. She's a costume designer. She's telling these great stories.
It's funny because
the clothing.
There are everywhere you go,
beautiful.
Right? You can find places where people have articles of clothing on display and claim they're haunted, right? Everywhere you go. The problem is with it is that a lot of the times it's too gimmicky. It's very gimmicky. It's like, oh, we found a mannequin. Let's just throw it in this room that has nothing to do with anything and put a dress in there and say, hey, this is, whatever. It's a trigger object. And it's like, all right, well, what's it supposed to be triggering if it has no context, right?
Right.
That, what she's doing, is a completely different thing. It's more than just a trigger object. I wouldn't even consider it a trigger object.
No,
it's a part of it.
Exactly.
It's like a part of history,
yes.
pop culture, and
craftsmanship.
Yes, there's so many layers.
Listen, by the way, take paranormal out of it for a second. Yes. It's still super cool. I like craftsmen, right? People who create, like, she's a craftsman. She's making this stuff, and then she's tying it in, and she is knowledgeable enough and experienced enough to properly tie it in and give you the story.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's real. Like, it's credible. That's the word I'm looking for. It's a long way to say the word credible. Anyway, she's great. She's a real good resource and a really good just a real talent in the space. I'm glad she came on.
Yeah.
All right, guys. You guys have any questions? What about you guys? Any questions for John and myself? Do you want to see the big antenna again? Look at this. It doesn't even fit on the screen. It's so big.
That's
what she said.
That's pretty big. You need a panned out shot for the whole thing,
I know. You gotta get a wide lens.
Wide
angle lens.
Yep. Size comparison.
Did everybody watch the Nick Groff episode? Speaking of Ghost Adventures this week, I hope everybody did. If you didn't, you're missing out.
Hey, listen,
It's
and I
good.
got to say this too. She handled that way better than I would have handled it. Like, I'm sorry if I'm doing something and I catch wind that a enterprise such
Oh,
as
sure.
Ghost Adventures is literally mimicking me episode per episode. When their producer contacted me, it would be more like, "Yo, put your mouth around it." Okay, like, oh, I'm serious. I'm serious. Like, she handled that way better than I would have
Yeah, well,
handled it.
she's smart. She's
Yeah,
smart, and she
yeah.
took the, she went down the business road. Like,
Yeah.
let's talk. Let's give me credit, and let's get me on air.
Yeah, I would have been like, well, screw all that, you know?
But you never know too. It's like with these shows, and she has a fairly big, she said this is fairly recent, a few years. She's got a big following. So if that kind of feedback online, like if someone did it to you, you're gonna know about it, and it's gonna get some pretty bad feedback for the show, right? If all of a sudden you start seeing guys cleaning headstones, it's obvious, you know what I mean, that they're copying you from it. So and it's gonna be a shitstorm online for them, right? So
That's right. I mean,
her for
they probably, she was probably when her podcast was just starting and whatnot, and yeah, that's interesting though. Yeah, she handled it a lot better.
Nuts. Yeah, she's really cool. All right, I don't see a lot of questions. Listen, I gave all you whiners an opportunity to ask questions, and no one's asking the goddamn thing. So I never want to hear you again say, "Why isn't anybody even talking in the chat?"
The chat, oh my God.
Why aren't we talking in the chat?
Well, listen, I was in this chat the entire time, literally commenting, talking to everybody, saying hello, getting them engaged.
What up, Jolly? Good to see you there. I don't know if he's still there. He was watching IAG.
Yeah, I can only see the
Jolly from Soko Paranormal.
I can only see the YT chat. I can't see anything else.
No, I'm looking. I got 3 screens. I got a big ass screen in front of me, so it's like my eyes are always wandering.
What up, player?
Thank you, Jackie. We try to get some good people on here. We're getting big. Look, the only reason we're able to get bigger and better guests is because of you guys. Hit that hype button, share it, follow it, comment on Apple. Apple works on comments, guys. If you go to Apple to leave a comment, they love it. That feeds it. That feeds the beast. That just helps us, man. The more likes, the more people know about it, the more people who subscribe, that we can get better guests. That's just how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Whether they like John and I or not, they'll come on because they know that you guys are there to see them.
Yeah, it's true.
What else? Anybody? I don't know. Going once?
Going twice?
Going twice, John.
Sold to the silence in the back.
Sold to the silence in the back.
All right, Gary, this is cool. Great guest.
I know, it's great, guys. I find myself saying, we have an interview.
Hey, Harris, appreciate you, Harris. Thank you.
With Sherry De Benedetti. And I say that name like it's a De Benedetti. It should be screamed from a stadium. She was one of the ghost hunters, guys. And that was coming out. Jackie Blue, Gary, do you believe in the afterlife? I don't believe in. Do you have to define afterlife? Here's one thing I've learned, Jackie. Here's one thing I've learned from doing this. If you're going to ask me, do I believe in ghosts? Do I believe in the afterlife? You have to tell me what you define a ghost as, and I will tell you if I believe in that or not, because the definition is too broad. So if you're saying, do I believe in an afterlife? Like, are we going to go to like a heaven with like angels and like, the Backstreet Boys are going to be singing? The answer is no.
Everybody.
I don't think there's that. But if you're a sense of it, I think that when we go, we're as dead as Dillinger. Now, whether there is that energy of mine somehow sticks to something, that's what we're trying to figure out here. That's what we're experiencing here, or we have experienced these things. Maybe that's a thing. I don't know. But again, don't ask me whether I believe in a ghost or not until you tell me, like, I think a ghost is this. Do you believe in the same thing? Then I'll tell you what I think. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, John?
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Right? Because so many people, as Tammie said, so many people have a different definition of that.
They have different definitions for other definitions of things. in different
know, it's
words.
nuts.
You know, like it's just the way it is. Everybody, it's interesting. Paranormal's interesting.
Yep.
It's fringe
Yep.
science, so anybody can call anything that's going on anything they want.
Right.
You know, so
Don't worry, Jackie. You're gonna be just fine. Don't worry about the afterlife too much.
yeah, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Live as a good person
That's it.
as much as you can, and then just don't worry about what's gonna happen
Yeah,
afterwards.
yeah.
Odds
that's
are
it.
it's not gonna be a problem.
Yeah,
You know, it's just like, let's be real.
yeah,
It's not gonna be a problem if you live a good life.
it's true. All right, Gary, this is fun.
Yeah.
Great guest.
All right, guys. And thank you all of you on
Yeah.
Facebook. I see you here in the chat too. We had a couple of bodies there. Greg,
Cool.
Kim, Melissa. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Teresa. Thank you guys. And all you guys on IG.
Thank you.
Yeah, after Cripple Creek. Yeah, that's right. Well, we're going to get into Cripple Creek. I'm going to a Paracon in Colorado, dude. It's going to be bananas. But we're going to talk about that later. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching Splintered Spirits. Please smash that subscribe button, hit that hype button. We got like 100 episodes you can catch up on if you get bored. And this past week, we had Nick Roth. We have nothing new dropping next week, just another live. So you have plenty of time to catch up. Everybody, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
Peace. Stay curious.